The next topic on our crash course on determinants and matrices is the topic determinants itself. And it's one of the most important topics, not only by the topic itself, like talking about determinants at length, but also in the context of matrices. Determinants also kind of play a role. And that's the reason, although in the syllabus you will have determinants and matrices as two different chapters, I've combined this into one because the concepts go back and forth. And determinant, there'll be a lot of questions from the chapter determinant itself, and there'll be a lot of questions in the matrices for which you need to know determinants. And that's the reason kind of putting it in a context is very important. Okay, let's jump in on what's going on here. So determinant in a simple format is almost like a matrix. It's an array of numbers, nothing much different than that. It's an array of numbers, but the way it is represented is the array of numbers are put within two vertical lines. If you see here, two vertical lines, simple two vertical lines, okay? Whereas matrices are boxed in square brackets. So although it's a very cheesy way to explain that, but you're focusing on the exam, just focus on this. Okay, matrices mean you're going to put in a square brackets over here. This piece is important. Okay, and determinant is just between two vertical lines, but the array of numbers or the arrangement of the numbers within those two brackets or vertical lines remain the same. That's one. Second thing is determinant is computed for a matrix, meaning for a determinant to exist, a matrix has to exist. So determinant is dependent on a matrix for existence. Think of matrix as a womb or a mother and determinant as the child. So you'll always, whenever you find a determinant, you're finding a determinant of a matrix. And a determinant is always applicable only for square matrices, whereas a matrix by itself, right, it can be a rectangular matrix also. But whenever you find a determinant for a matrix, that is always going to be for a square matrix and not rectangular matrix. That's important note you have to find. And some of the reasons will be obvious in the further episodes. And for some of the reasons you need a broader explanation, you might have to check the other set of intuition videos if you're interested. Otherwise, just for the examination purpose, stick to this. And what is at the end of the determinant? Determinant is just a number. It could be a positive number, it could be a zero, or it could be a negative number. And the number tells us something about the matrix or the matrix operation itself. For example, we learned about matrix multiplication and all those things. And the next few episodes will be focusing on different types of matrices and how to calculate determinant for those matrices. And in that, it will be very clear what does the number tell us about that. For the timing, you just focus that it is a determinant is a number that tells us, in a way, determines, and hence that name determinant. It determines something about the matrix or the matrix operation itself, whether it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, specifically the way it's multiplied. It tells something very specific about that. And a very simple example that I've given, which I'll be solving in the next episodes or set of episodes, is, for example, if you're given a set of linear equation to solve, and the determinant of the problem is 0, and I'll come to the episode where we calculate how the determinant works. But let's say if the determinant of the problem is 0, that means it tells us that there is no solution existing to the given problem. So that's kind of the fundamental way of doing that. By itself, it's a number. So the number is of no use. But the number, if you put in a context, it tells us what is happening to the underlying matrix from where it is coming out. So in this case, there is no solution to the given problem, and so on and so forth. So that's what determinant is all about. Set of array of numbers enclosed between two vertical lines. And I'll see you in the future bytes for the advanced topics of determinants.